In the wise words of Mark Twain, new writers are wasting their goddamn time. They ought to listen to Godfrey the Great. Okay, Mark Twain never actually said that. That was me saying that. However, it is true. 99% of new writers are wasting their time. They obsess over headlines to an autistic degree. They comment on other people's posts and beg them to read their stuff, or worse, follow them. Ugh, it's just gross. They post on a strict schedule, study SEO like it's a PhD exam, and try to become masters of the algorithm. The problem is, while they're doing all this nonsense, they're forgetting the main thing that actually matters. They're writing. And I get it. Look, I'm not actually kicking these people while they're down. They are trying, and that is better than what most people do. But the problem is they still have this shortcut mindset. They think they can get famous fast, or they think writing's just this really simple thing that can elevate them to stardom without much effort, and this is just bollocks. Problem is, they don't know that. They think that one post will be enough to change their lives forever. They think they just need that one viral post, and then their entire life will be changed forever. Well, I'm someone who's actually had viral posts. Multiple, in fact, and I'm going to tell you right now, unequivocally, they do not do shit for you. Pardon my French. I know it's very early into the video and I'm already using profanity. But the point is, a viral post is not going to do anything for you. There are people who go viral on TikTok every day. They're still losers. And we're writers, so we're not really losers, but we need to get out of this shortcut mindset because it's not helpful. I'm speaking from experience. I've had posts go viral. I've gained 15,000 followers in just a couple of months. But let me tell you something you've probably not heard before. I've just told you to get rid of the shortcut mindset, but the truth is, going viral too soon could completely mess you up. So as an example, I want to tell you about this YouTube video I saw a few weeks ago. It was this video that this guy just recorded on his phone. Not a good video, not good quality, not elite quality like this video. But maybe he was doing something right and I'm the idiot because his video had 3 million views or something, a crazy amount of views. But when I saw it, my heart broke. Okay, my heart broke for this guy. I think he was younger than me. He made this video, he obviously wasn't expecting it to blow up, and I had a look in his description, and he had nothing. Just the description was empty. And if you know anything about online business or trying to monetize your writing, you'll know that this is the biggest mistake you could possibly make. Obviously, I'm not blaming him because he had no idea that video was going to go viral. But the point is, he was a guy new to this game, and he went viral so early, and he wasn't ready for it. But I get it. You might be wondering to yourself, Godfrey, he got 2.7 million views. What kind of crack are you smoking? In what world is that not a good thing? Well, I'll tell you, dear viewer, it's a terrible thing. It was a bad video. He had no offer. He had no call to action. The quality of the video wasn't good, which means he's going to learn all the wrong lessons. And he had no real skill behind the delivery. It was just pot luck. Just a really short video, nice and sweet. It was about 2 or 3 minutes long. So if people watch the video all the way through, it's going to get recommended to more and more people, and then it's just like a snowball, a virtuous cycle, if you will. The problem is, even though he did go viral with that one video, he didn't build the business. He didn't capitalize on that traffic that was coming his way. And he didn't lay the foundations to attract an audience of people who'd keep coming back for more content. I had a look for this guy's channel. I could not find the video. But when I was on his channel last time, I distinctly remember this video being one of his earliest ones. All of his other videos have 90 views, 100 views, low views. Very low relative to this video that exploded. And after the high of this video wears off, he'll be in the exact same position, wondering how he can recapture that magic in the bottle. The fundamental problem I'm getting at is that he didn't learn how to actually make good content. He just got lucky. And you do not want to just get lucky if you're a writer trying to make it online. Getting lucky is not a good strategy. Do me a favor and imagine you are this guy for a second. Imagine you've done a few videos, right? They don't get many views. And then suddenly you release one that took you just a few minutes to make and it gets millions of views. Soak up all of the emotion for me. It would feel amazing, right? Great, okay. Now imagine how you feel a week, 2 weeks later when your next 5 videos don't get any views. Can you imagine how devastated he would feel? Can you imagine how he'd feel after that incredible high followed by that horrible low? You would be devastated. I would be devastated. And a few years from now, after he's learned about basic business fundamentals and online business strategy, he's going to look back at that video with so much regret you don't even understand. He's going to think he's an idiot. He's going to beat himself up, even though he isn't. He just wasn't ready for that level of exposure. Because it really doesn't matter if he had one video get 3 million views, because none of those viewers are going to return to watch his next videos. None of them came to him for a specific reason, for a special talent that he had, a problem that he could personally solve. It was just a flash in the pan created by fluke luck that cannot be replicated. Now, does that sound like something you want? Because that's exactly what happens when you blow up before you're ready for it. It feels amazing in the moment. If I was in his shoes, I'd be giddy. I'd be running around the room, screaming at the top of my voice, telling my mom, like, "We made it, mama, we made it!" But that's just like a dopamine high. That's not going to last. Because think about it, like everyone in my generation, I don't know how old you are. I'm 26 and I'm a Zoomer. Everyone in my generation wants to be a YouTuber. We all were brought up on this dream of getting like 1 million views or 1 million subscribers. So to see one of our peers actually do it, it's a childhood dream we all collectively had when we grew up with the internet. So some part of us all wants to experience that because we've been conditioned to kind of crave it. But I'm telling you, he does not feel the same way now. And trust me, you do not want that either. You do not want one of the first things you post to go viral. Unless you actually know what you're doing, going viral is a curse. When you haven't learned basic skills like how to tell a story, how to write a hook, how to build momentum, how to craft good call to actions, that sudden burst of attention could actually destroy you. However, if you do know what you're doing, if you have put in a lot of practice and you have become a great writer, if you've learned about online business and the importance of driving traffic, you'd be in a much stronger position to make the most of that viral story. So an example of this is someone like Dan Koe. When he started posting on YouTube, he didn't have a big channel. He had a small channel. But the difference is, he'd already spent years learning social media, writing content consistently, and he had a business. So he learned all of the lessons. And eventually, when one of his videos did go viral, he was in the perfect position. I don't know what the exact numbers are, but I'm pretty sure he went from making like 40k per month to hundreds of thousands per month just off one viral video. Because he had an entire ecosystem with his YouTube content. Every single video was strategized. Every single thing he did was calculated. So when that video blew up, loads of those people started watching his other videos, and it was just this big explosion of views and money and everything good, right? This is something that our friend at the beginning did not have. While Dan Koe made millions when his video went viral, the other guy made nothing. And it was all because of the knowledge, all because of the positioning, all because of the experience. This is what you need to understand as a new writer. You don't want virality. It's completely overrated. Listen to me now. Virality is only useful if you have the necessary writing chops and you have a firm grasp of what writing online actually is. When you write online, you are not trying to be an artist. You are trying to be useful. The more useful you are, the more views you get. That's how it works. So, if going viral isn't your goal, what should you be focusing on? It's actually very simple. Be consistent, be valuable, be business savvy. Let's break this down. To be consistent, you only have to focus on a few key things. Write consistently, post consistently, and constantly improve as a writer. What this basically means is you need to make writing a habit. A daily habit, especially when you're first starting, because you are green. You need to get your skin in the game, you need to get your practice in, and you need to make this an indestructible habit. No days off, none of that stuff. You don't have to do a lot, just make sure you do something every day. And then when you're eventually writing every day, you want to focus on trying to get a little bit better every day. How do you do this? By studying how other writers write. For example, you could look at how Dan Koe uses hooks. If you don't know what a hook is basically just the beginning part of any piece of content to try and get the people to engage with it so they keep going through. If it's watching a video, it's so they keep watching the video. If it's a blog post, it's so they keep reading the post. Very simple. You could look at how Mark Manson writes with personality and injects humor into his stuff. You could study how Naval Ravikant writes with simplicity but is very insightful. The point is, you want to steal from the best and see how you can use their techniques in your own writing. And if this sounds like a lot of work, it is a lot of work. And let me be completely crystal meth clear with you. This is a long process. This isn't something you're going to get good at overnight. The goal is to gradually incorporate all of these skills into the way you write so that you eventually become a unit. Because if you dedicate yourself to learning all these skills and actually mastering the craft of writing, you'll be in such a good place when one of your posts does inevitably blow up. Which leads me to my next point. Post consistently. So by post consistently, I think it's pretty self-explanatory. You just have to post on a regular basis. It doesn't matter if you post once per day or once per week. All that matters is you can stick to posting. When I first started, I posted every day for basically a year. I may have missed a few days here and there, but for the most part, I was extremely consistent. You don't have to do that. In fact, when I look back, I think I made loads of mistakes. I could have been a lot more strategic with how I wrote and how often I posted. Back then, I'd just have an idea and I'd just write about it. There wasn't really much thought that went into it. The main thing I wish I'd done is learn about psychology, and you can do the same by clicking the first link in the description. With that said though, I did get pretty good results towards the end of the year. Like I said, I was getting like 15,000 followers over a couple of months. And by writing and posting every day, I did build a very strong writing habit, so much so that even when I take long breaks off every now and then, I'm easily able to get back to writing because of the work I put in back then. Whatever you decide to do, whether it be weekly or daily, you have to post the things you write. No ifs, no buts, no bullshit perfectionism. You have to get that feedback. And you have to build up the muscle of being able to post. Because when I first started, I was really scared of posting. I know you may think I'm like this super Giga Chad Casanova charismatic extrovert, but that was not the case when I first started writing. Your boy was struggling, not gonna lie. Bottom line is, you have to publish the things you write, regardless of how you feel about them. The only way you can build leverage, attract an audience, and eventually have an income is if you post your shit. No, don't take that literally. Post your writing. This is how you build leverage, attract an audience, and develop the habit of being a creator. And lastly, but definitely not leastly, you have to get clear on why you're writing. At this point, you've already committed to learning how to write, and you've also decided to publish consistently. From here, you actually have to understand why you're doing this. Is it for the sake of expressing yourself? Is it to get rich? Is it to get status? Is it to get hired for a certain job? What is it? I can't answer this for you. You have to answer this for yourself. Because however you answer this question is going to affect the way you write and the style with which you write. For example, if you're into more expressive stuff, you want to experiment with as many forms of writing as possible. You want to write songs, you want to write screenplays, you want to write essays, you want to write tweets, you want to write everything. You do not want to limit yourself. You don't want to be rigid, and essentially you want to treat writing as just pure play. But if you want to write and make money, you need to also learn about business and essentially become an entrepreneur. You have to learn what a lead magnet is. You have to learn how to write copy. You have to learn about funnels. You need to figure out how you're going to monetize your work. Are you going to have a paid newsletter? Are you going to have a digital product? Are you going to have a coaching offer? Are you going to sell a service? Whatever you choose to do, this will affect the way you write and also the medium way you write. Either way, if you want to make money, you don't just have to get better at writing, you also have to understand and learn everything there is to know about online business. In short, your overarching goals and the goals you want to achieve in your life are going to impact what you write and how you write. And this is something new writers just don't think about. They're honestly living in a fantasy. They think they're just going to write some stuff, press publish, and then money is going to appear in their bank account and groupies are going to be lining up outside their door. I wish it worked like that, but it doesn't work like that. I hope you found this video useful and it cleared up a few things, as well as some things to avoid and some things to think about. Click the first link in the description if you want to learn all about psychology and how to weave that into the way you write. And click the second link in the description if you're serious about becoming a digital writer in 2025 and want to take your skills to the next level. Also, once you start writing, you'll quickly realize just just how important hooks are. That's why you should watch this next video where I share the secret tricks writers use to hook you. I'll see you there. Bye.